Michael Jordan destroyed a team full of NBA All-Stars. Not once, not twice, 8 times. Magic Johnson.
Not 6, not 7.
Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. All of them were together to beat one college kid.
Yep.
And they just couldn't.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Hope y'all are having a good day so far. So I've been waiting to talk about this or to react to this or whatever you want to call it. And I've had a lot of suggestions over the course of this channel. Let me read the title first. This is titled "The Day College Michael Jordan Destroyed the Entire NBA All-Star Team," and he did it. I think it was 8 times in a row. So these scrimmages were legendary. However, the reason why I haven't reacted to anything like the actual games is because the quality was so incredibly low. Like I kept looking around for something that might be decent, and I figured eventually I would just have to, suck it up and just do it and hope you guys don't mind the low quality visuals. But this video dropped. This video is from a channel called First 5. I've never heard of it before, but I was just kind of sifting through, a couple of seconds of the footage, and the footage looks really crisp. I mean, considering how bad the original looked, this looked great. So this is something that I think is really important to know, because Jordan was just a level above everybody coming when he was, just getting out of college and coming into the NBA. I believe the order of operations were the NBA draft was held, and then after that came the Olympic Games, and it started here before the Olympic Games when, these were like warm-ups, basically like scrimmages, and Jordan's college team literally embarrassed the NBA All-Stars. And, we all know about like the freeze-out game and all that happened to Jordan, and I think this has to do with a lot of it, because Jordan kind of came in and just embarrassed everybody. And I don't think that was Jordan's intention, but his intention was to show the world that he's got skills. So anyways, the draft was held. That's why Hakeem Jordan was not a number 1 pick, not a number 2, not a number 3, because nobody knew just how good he was until this happened. And then he brought home the gold for the USA basketball team. Anyways, you guys, let's get into this. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description, as I always do. So if you end up liking this channel, you can go over and subscribe. I'm going to do the same. I'm not subscribed yet, but I may be by the end of this. What am I looking at? 1,700 subscribers, so they can use a boost. Anyways, also in the description, you're going to see a list of channel members. New channel member, Rob F. Shout out to you. I really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate the support from everybody else. You really take some of the pain out of doing, the hours that go into something like this, and then just to find out it's getting copyright striked or copyright claimed at the end of it, you really take some of that pain away. So I really appreciate you all. Guys, like the video? Let's do it. Let's do this. And I know some of you who don't know are thinking this is still
This
blurry.
could easily be the craziest sports story ever.
1,000
Why?
times better.
Because before he played a single NBA game, Michael Jordan destroyed a team full of NBA All-Stars. Not once, not twice, 8 times. Magic Johnson.
Not 6, not 7.
Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. All of them were together to beat one college kid.
Yep.
And they just couldn't. Michael Jordan was good, but he hadn't yet shown everything he could be.
But everyone's
He was
like,
just
what
a
the
kid from
hell?
North Carolina who dreamed of one day making it to the NBA. He dreamed of becoming one of the best players in the world. But what he didn't know was that his dream was much closer and more realistic than he could ever have imagined.
Oh, yeah.
In a very different era, Michael had a unique opportunity. He had the chance to face the best players in the NBA before starting his professional career. All thanks to exhibition games where the best college players took to the court to face the legends. Many kids were nervous. You could even say intimidated.
Bobby
But not
Knight.
this future sports legend, who was
By the way, Coach Knight, by the end of this, said Michael, and we're talking pre-NBA Jordan, and said that's the greatest basketball player I've ever seen.
more than ready to take on the challenge. Sit down and grab some popcorn, because today's story is the weirdest we've ever covered on the channel. It's not that Jordan wasn't hyped. He had his fair share of hype, like any dominant college player. Plus, it's easy to prove. Just look at what the New York Times said about the shooting guard in 1984. The pro scouts had tabbed Jordan, the college player of the year, a certainty to become a superstar.
Damn.
However, the 80s were the era of the big man. GMs believed that the players who were the cornerstones of franchises were always centers. They always had to build around one, and that's why they were the first to be picked in the NBA drafts. Jordan, a much smaller player, was destined to be picked in the top positions, but there were people who thought that he wouldn't be picked in the top 3. So, after completing his junior season at college in North Carolina, Jordan would have the perfect opportunity. He had already proven himself to be one of the best players in the nation, becoming the leading scorer in the 1983-1984 season in the entire ACC. But he also knew he was ready for the next level. After being nominated for every possible award in the NCAA, Jordan wanted a taste of professional basketball. But the good thing was that he knew he would have the opportunity to prove himself. You see, the Olympic Games have always been one of the greatest collective recognitions in world basketball. In fact, I would dare to say that it is the greatest of all. But back in the day, Team USA was so superior that it didn't even have to bring in professional players to win.
Yeah.
By putting together a pool of college players,
they were able
to win the tournament practically whenever they wanted. And during the 1980s, that was the tradition. So Michael, one of the most highly touted prospects, who had also been an NCAA champion, knew he was going to have a spot on that roster. In fact, yeah, he was going to be the leader. However, Team USA didn't have great cohesion. Each player came from a different college, playing a different system for a coach with a different mindset. So they needed a warm-up. And what better way than to have the experience of playing with the best players in the world?
Yep, and I call it fair game because the pros have the same excuse. They're not used to playing together. But yeah, same with this Team USA team. They never played ball together. So who should win? Dude, the NBA players should win. I can't believe it went the other way, man.
Those who played in the NBA.
It's just another one of those Jordan stories. It's just like, what the hell, man?
Before the 1984 Olympics, Team USA, made up of college players, faced a team full of NBA talent 8 times. Each time, the members of this team changed, demonstrating the depth of stars that the league was beginning to have during the 1980s. And in most of these games, there was a true professional basketball star leading the team. But even though they had faced the best players in the league, they didn't know that this college kid was really special. When June 1984 arrived, after the playoffs, everything fell into place. The Chicago Bulls were eager to see their new star in action, the new player destined to lead the team out of obscurity.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, the Bulls had already... Yeah, okay, that just confirms the draft already did take place. Okay.
The truth is that in the first game, Michael Jordan would have to face the best player on the Bulls at the time, Orlando Woolridge. Now, to everyone's surprise, the young Team USA not only beat the NBA All-Stars, but they ran over them. Led by Michael and Patrick Ewing, another player of his generation, the professional players didn't stand a chance.
God, could you imagine if they got to play together? Like if they were on the Bulls or the Knicks together? I always wonder what would have happened if Jordan had a big man that wasn't Bill Cartwright or Luke Longley. Like if he had a Shaq or a David Robinson or, something like this. Or Patrick Ewing. Hakeem Olajuwon, for crying out loud. Dude, that's the one. That's the big one. If Hakeem and Jordan... I'm sorry. I'll make this quick. If Hakeem and Jordan were teamed up, I don't care who the other players are in the team. They're stacking rings, man.
Something similar happened to Game 2. This time, the team facing Team USA was stacked. Magic Johnson, Kevin McHale, Isaiah Thomas.
Damn, man.
I mean, this time the NBA team had to win, but they didn't. Led once again by Michael, the young Team USA won by 6 points.
Nice.
In Game 3, against players of the caliber of Danny Ainge, Quentin Daly, Clyde Drexler, and Bill Walton, the Olympic team prevailed again, this time by 13 points.
Damn.
At this point, fans were wondering, what the heck is going on? The situation didn't improve when the Celtics players came to the rescue. Game 4, Larry Bird.
At this point, it's like a thing of pride. Bird's like, okay, come on, I'll match up against this kid. Like there's no way he's gonna keep embarrassing us.
Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Henry Seasting, and the incredible addition of Isaiah Thomas. Well,
are you kidding me? You're adding Isaiah to like Henry a Boston Big Three? Holy crap. those three plus Isaiah Thomas just might be the best team in the league at that point.
And the incredible addition of Isaiah Thomas. Well, it was once again to no avail. The Olympic team prevailed again by 15 points.
Oh man, Jordan killed him. And I'm sorry, I don't mean just Jordan, but he's the star of the show here. But man, they killed him.
In Game 5, the NBA team was weaker. With the exception of James Worthy, the team's leader, the rest of the players were less well-known names.
Oh.
And that night, of course, they didn't stand a chance either. Team USA won again, this time by 11 points.
This is
Game
great.
6, same story. Dave Corzine, Terry Cummins, Doc Rivers, Mike Dunleavy. It was all for nothing.
Yeah, you don't have
because
a
the
chance.
Olympic team won it again by 16 points. It wasn't that the NBA players were having bad luck. It wasn't that they were losing close games that they ended up losing due to circumstances.
Yeah, getting killed.
The reality is that the Olympic team was beating them by double digits night after night. At least in Game 7, the All-Star...
See, that I didn't know. I didn't know the final scores. I didn't know. USA is crushing them, man. I mean, that's proper. The USA is crushing the NBA.
Had a chance for the first time because on a team that included players like Rolando Blackman, Terry Cummins, Doc Rivers, and Michael Thompson, they came close to winning. However, they ended up succumbing to the 16 points Michael scored that night and lost by 5 points. It seemed that no matter what they did, the professional players would always come up against a wall.
Damn. Can I just watch that play again?
It seemed that no matter what they did.
Nice feed. So Jordan was planning for this. That's a cool image right there.
Points Michael scored that night and lost.
Hey, anybody got this jersey? This is on my radar. Like I've been desperately needing a Michael Jordan jersey. I don't know why I don't have a Michael Jordan jersey. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. But I really want this one, man. Like I think if I ever get one, that might be the one right there.
And lost by 5
Okay,
points.
now watch MJ. He's gonna feed Patrick right here. So Patrick's coming in. Nice, easy read.
It seemed
Bang.
that
All right. Now Jordan could just float out if he wanted to. Be like a normal guard. But he's seeing all the traffic that's in here, so that's going to be a very contested shot. Jordan's just going to weasel his way around while no one's paying attention, and then watch how this play ends.
no matter what they did, the professional players would always come up against
Gotcha. That's the greatest shooting guard of all time right there.
the wall they couldn't overcome. But how was Michael able to do it? How was he able to humiliate many of the best players in the league night after night? Well, let's take a look. This is what Michael did in one of the games we have footage of. Because in Game 8...
This is what the original footage looks like, you guys. Okay.
The college kids faced a team with legendary
Alex
players
English,
such as Magic Johnson,
Larry Nance.
Isaiah Thomas, Mark Aguirre, Michael Cooper, Alex English, Kurt Rambis, and Larry Nance. Jordan was able to do this. First, he destroyed the NBA All-Stars defense with his mid-range touch,
Gotcha.
a tool he already had in his arsenal at only 21 years old. He also did it with his ability to convert transitions. Look how Michael sprints toward the other basket, crossing the court in seconds,
Boom.
to finish with an amazing slam dunk that left Magic impressed.
You notice how he doesn't cherry pick? He's in there for the defensive stop, and then he cuts out. He bursts out the second he sees somebody gain possession. And then the rest is just speed and leaping ability and strength after that.
He continued to hammer the All-Stars defense with buckets like this one,
Gotcha.
catching and shooting from the low block, in a situation where Jordan would become absolutely lethal during his career.
Yeah, no kidding.
While doing all this, MJ kept driving to the paint with force, drawing fouls every time because the defense was unable to stop him in the air legally. And he also showed flashes of his playmaking ability, making good passes to his teammates' cuts. Although they weren't always able to convert the opportunities.
Story of his life.
The only real reality was that there was nothing he did better than score.
Yeah.
Every time he received the ball in the mid-range, especially if he was near the baseline, it was a bucket. And that caused the defense to overreact. Look at this play where Michael is completely surrounded by players in blue jerseys, and then he throws an unexpected last-second pass to Perkins.
Nice.
If any of his teammates missed, as in this play by
Perkins
Patrick
and
Ewing,
Perkins, huh?
he was the first one ready for the offensive rebound. In fact, on this occasion, he followed up with a great putback dunk. Even though the All-Stars had all the experience in the world, having been through deep playoff runs every year, Michael was unstoppable. Whether from mid-range or in the paint, he always had an answer for the defense. And with
Whoa. Why'd you blur that one out there?
whether from mid-range or in the paint, he always had an answer
He's laying that up?
for
Yeah, he laid that. Ooh, nice touch.
defense. And with these last 2 free throws, he put an end to the game. That night, Jordan not only scored 27 points, he not only proved that he was the best player on the court alongside true legends, he also won the game.
Yeah.
With a score of 84-72, Team USA once again destroyed the image of professional players. And with that game, Jordan raised the record to 8 wins and 0 losses. And Pat Riley said this just after the games: "He's as gifted a player as any I've ever seen play ball."
Damn.
However, this would be...
Hold on. Was there anything else to that?
He's as gifted...
Okay, so it's after they won their 8th straight. 84 to, yeah, they killed him. Opposing coach. So, okay, Pat Riley was the opposing coach in this. How good was Jordan? Yeah, there's a quote. Bear in mind, just a few weeks removed from watching Larry Bird, Kevin McHale. Wow.
...gifted a player as any I've ever seen play ball. However, this would be worthless if he was unable to win gold for the United States in the following weeks.
Absolutely.
Of course, he did. Michael was the undisputed leader of a team that had great talent. Jordan, Chris Mullin, Patrick Ewing, Steve Alford, Sam Perkins, Alvin Robertson, they were vastly superior. But MJ's 17.1 points per game allowed Team USA to achieve an incredible record of 8 wins and 0 losses.
Unbelievable.
A record identical to that achieved by the Olympic team against the NBA All-Stars. A record that demonstrated Michael Jordan's commitment to representing and leading his country against the rest of the world's best teams. But we know his time would come. After being drafted 3rd overall by Chicago, Jordan went on to have one of the best rookie seasons in NBA history. With averages of 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists with a field goal percentage of 52%, he won the Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah, you guys ever heard of this Michael Jordan kid? I think he's going to have a good career, man.
Not only that, but he was also selected for the All-Star game in his rookie year and led the Chicago Bulls to a playoff spot for the first time since 1981.
Yeah, so you want to know why they froze him out in that first All-Star game, guys? It's not hard to figure out. Like, it's really not hard to figure out. Do I agree with what they did? No. Can I understand it? Yeah, I can. I get it. I get it. It's pretty petty, but I get what they're doing. Jordan just embarrassed the hell out of all of them, just a few months prior to that All-Star game.
But that was just the beginning. The players Michael faced in those exhibition games became his legendary rivals. Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson. They really got to know Michael when they had the chance to face him. That's when they realized that this kid wasn't just a brilliant prospect. He didn't just have the potential to become one of the best players in the league almost instantly.
That's when Magic and Bird always tell the story about how, like, this was kind of the moment where they both realized individually, like, uh-oh, we better win while we can. This guy's coming. Like, this guy's coming to take over this league.
The potential to become the greatest athlete of all time. And that's the end. For me, one of the most incredible stories in NBA history. A college kid was able to humiliate the league before he had even played a professional basketball game. So let me ask you this. What moment made you believe Michael Jordan was different from every other player? Was it this 8-0 sweep or something that happened later? Drop your GOAT moment in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. If you live for legendary breakdowns, epic rivalries, and the moments that made basketball history, subscribe to First 5 Hoops and join a community of real basketball fans. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
All right, that was cool. My first thought is, man, I'm realizing a lot of people don't like to use their own voice for their videos. It's interesting. I understand because I'm one of them who, if you don't want to use your face, for privacy reasons, but a lot of people don't like to use their own voice, and they're choosing AI voices. I mean, they still have to write the script, so it's still coming from a human, but it seems to be more and more common in these videos where it's an AI generated voice. And I mean, even Danger Productions did it, and at least he spoke out about it, and he said it's literally because that reason. Like he doesn't feel comfortable with the sound of his voice. But anyways, I wasn't around for this. I mean, I was 2 years old for this, so I didn't get to see this. I only got to learn a little bit about this from the documentaries back then, like Come Fly With Me and stuff like that. But They covered him being an Olympian and winning in '84. What they didn't do was really show what he did to the NBA All-Stars. And I'm kind of surprised, since it's like a Jordan-centric video, you know, that VHS that, well, I still have. Actually, it's right behind me here, sitting on a shelf. But yeah, it didn't cover those games. And I did rewatch it about a year and a half ago. And yeah, it certainly does not cover the '84 USA versus NBA All-Stars. So what was it for me? That question he asked at the end, where when was it that I noticed, that I realized he's the greatest? I'd say '89. '89 when he hit that shot against Cleveland. That's when I was like, this guy's clutch. He doesn't, you know, he's got ice in his veins. And you combine that with all the skill, talent, and the hunger that he has. Yeah, this guy's something special. Like not just like as far as like this guy can, you know, fly, blah blah blah. Like no, this guy is something special when it comes to being a winner. And but this is cool, guys. Like to see all those names, because it wasn't just one team, you know. And you know, there would be a little bit of a different story if it was the same All-Stars over and over and over again, and he beat them 8 times. But they threw 8 different teams at these guys, and nobody could beat the Jordan-led Olympic team. It's still mind-blowing. You know, if this was any other player, I think this would be like the biggest shock in the world. But it's one of those Jordan stories that we all just know and we accept, because there's so many stories like this about Jordan. That's just like, how do you do that? I don't know. It's Michael Jordan. The guy's a monster. You know, anyways, you guys, let me know what you thought. I thought it did a pretty good job of covering what we needed. I really wish somehow the NBA or the Olympic Committee or whatever could clean up that video footage, because I would love to watch all 8 of these games. I mean, it doesn't even have to be HD, but just a little bit more crispness to it, because whenever I do watch it, I have to look at body movements, and I can't see jersey numbers, so I can't follow around to see who's doing what. And it's just like, it's more like behavioral. I see like the Patrick Ewing fadeaway jump shot, and I'm like, okay, that's Pat. And I see Jordan like doing something crazy in the air. I'm like, that blur has to be MJ. But it's not great, is what it is. So anyways, you guys, let me know what you thought. Leave your comments down below. I'll be chatting with y'all as usual. And excuse me, I think that's all I got for now. All right, I'll see you in the comments, everyone. Like the vid, shout out to members, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, all right? And most importantly, be water, my friends.